Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. My name is Jerry, and I have the honor of being your host today. If this is your first time, we are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. With modern technology, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many lives, especially through Zoom and Facebook. Please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add our recordings to our website each week. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. This science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy is honored, along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinctions. This is a diverse, open, and affirming community. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, or spirit. It doesn't matter what you call it. That is totally your decision. You don't have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, and Torah, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come on and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So welcome everyone and enjoy our service as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each of us. Our favorite leader, Rosedale, is on vacation today, or is not our speaker today. Our wonderful Reverend Karen Mondragon is in charge. So give her your attention and your love as I pass the mic to her.
Oh, thank you, Jerry, aka Groovy G. And she is a groovy girl for sure. I love her. We have the distinct pleasure this morning of having Reverend Rosedale do our opening prayer. And in our service, we always start our service with an opening prayer. And I just can't say enough about Reverend Rosedale Jones, who is a beautiful sister of mine. She was in ministerial school with me, and I got to know her there. And as fate would have it, and the doors opened for each of us, the journey led me to CSL Charlotte, which I am ecstatic about because this family is a beautiful family. So I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Rosedale Jones for our opening prayer. Reverend Rosedale?
Well, thank you, Reverend Karen, for those beautiful words, and Groovy for saying, oh, she's on vacation, because this is vacation for me, just not doing anything but praying, and praying is easy. So I take a nice deep breath in before I do that, and then I also relax every cell inside of my body, because I know that there is this power that's in me. It surges through every single bone, tissue, and everything within my body. And I know that this very same power is the thing that has kept me for all these years and continue to transform me left, right, up, and down. And I'm grateful for it. So therefore, the talk that Reverend Karen is going to do about that opportunity that awaits in those doors, I know that each and every one of us today will find the door and walk through that door. That door could be the door of forgiveness. That door could be the door of health. That door could be the door of happiness. Whatever you need to make it to that next level, it gets done today. through this whole entire beautiful service led by Reverend Karen. So I give great thanks in advance to what I'm experiencing, to what I can say at the end of this service I have experienced. So I release it knowing that this is a beautiful service. It unfolds perfectly with every soul in here that's involved on this platform. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. My gosh, Reverend Rosa, you just introduced my talk so well. You're such a beautiful messenger of God. You just can't help it. It comes right from you, through you, into us. And so thank you for that. And that prayer was beautiful. It helped me go through the door of surrender and calm and peace. And knowing that our next person up is going, oh, and I thank also Jerry Campbell for her being our master of ceremonies this morning. She's a beautiful, beautiful, sweet woman. And next we're going to have our reader Melissa, who's going to do a powerful reading for us. I've already viewed it, and it is awesome. So Melissa's going to do our reading, and after the reading, we're going to have a song come on by Nimix called Open Doors, and it's beautiful. So Melissa, would you please take the mic and do our reading, darling?
Well, yes, good morning, everyone, and happy New Year's Eve day, because it's great to see you here. And this morning, my reading is about, it's from Janice Lynch's book, And Then, Heart-Centered Transformations. And the portion is called The Doors of Light. Through the darkness, a door opens into the light. There exist many doors. Doors of light that bring one into the physical plane through birth. Doors of light that bring one through trials and challenges and experiences. Each door is a passageway into the unknown. You watch as others cross through these doors as you welcome little ones as they birth new existence. You observe others pass through the trials and challenges you cannot hope to understand. You yourself notices your own trials and challenges as doorways into the unknown open. At times, change feels overwhelming. The darkness is one with new existence and awareness, but it's not knowing which seems to hide the light from our awareness. Though one may not know what lies beyond the doorway, one's faith fills the doorway with light. The unseen cannot be seen, yet the light of love is visible. Sometimes the light brightens the way so intensely that only the next step can be seen. Honor your need to know. Honor your wish to understand, and honor your desire to be prepared. Yet know that all the preparation in the world may not grant you the vision required to see your lighted path. Only eyes of light may see what lies ahead. Only the enlightened heart of hearts can view the lighted, flooded plain beyond the doorway. So how do we navigate through each doorway of light and its light-flooded plain? Awaken your senses to perceive light on a new level. This night and new level of light, viewing asks what you take your eyes off the darkness around you and view divine source and divine connection instead. You are called into the light path. Your eyes shall become accustomed to the light, and your vision will sharpen. You'll see how you can be of service rather than seeing just the darkness. And you will see others of service and being blessed. You'll see how to share your light rather than notice the shadows that abide in the world. You will see others shining brightly and be blessed. But certainly sorrows will remain. Fears exist, yet your light-flooded journey leads you into the space as a healer and one who blesses rather than the one who is lost. Feeling lost? Look for the ones shining brightly. Their lights bring you closer to the light, to your light, the divine light. A divine light connection awakens your inner light so that you shine brightly and darkness flees from you. May you shine brightly as you bravely step through this next door of light. Your faith lights the way. We see your light and we are all blessed. And so it is.
Wow. If we weren't awake before, we're awake now. That was fabulous. And whoa, Nimix really, he said it. He said in all areas of his life, open doors in all areas of his life, starting with his mind. In every area of his life are open doors, and he opens those doors. And before I go further, I just want to say again, thank you to Jerry for being our MC. Thank you for Melissa for that gorgeous reading, which could have been my whole talk, by the way. I could have just said, okay, Melissa, have at it. That's the talk. It was beautiful. And Reverend Rosedale for the prayer. Awesome, awesome prayer, darling. And thank you so much. It's helped a lot. And Alan is our music man, and he's also my stage manager because he will let me know when my time is up and he will get me off that stage. He won't use a hook, but he will use his sign language for me. And so I love you, Alan, and thank you for doing the music and everybody on this platform. And today, and also on our platform, who's not doesn't have a job today, is Horace. And he keeps us informed on what's going on in the world. Today's the 6th day of Kwanzaa, and thank you, Horace, for letting us know that. And it's the day of creativity, and bringing that creativity out into our world and the world as beauty and light and love. And so, thank you, Horace, for all of that. He's a treasure to all of us. And so, open doors. Doors, of course, we all know are a metaphor for going forward in life. And I should be careful with a talk title that I picked because ever since I picked this talk title, I've been facing doors. And the doors that I did not want to go through were had a little sign on a plaque that said challenge number 1, challenge number 2, challenge number 3. And then there was a 4th door and it said surrender. So I've been opening that door and I've gone through it a couple of times in the past 3 days. One where I'm having an issue with one of my kids, and I was worried about it, and so that worry was consuming me, and I was like, oh, blah blah blah. What if this? What if that? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! And then finally, I took a deep breath and I said, okay, kiddo, what are you doing? You're a practitioner. You're a minister. You know better than this. So what door is opening for you that you can go through that doesn't say worry on it? And there was the door of surrender. So I took a deep breath and I opened that door and I went through and I said, take it, God, it's yours. I'm not worrying about this anymore. I'm surrendering this issue, which is not even an issue yet. I'm just making it one, over to your hands. And I felt so much better and I have not worried since. And then, this morning the light blew out in my office. It was pitch dark in here. I couldn't see anything. So I said, oh gosh, what am I going to do? I can't tell Rosie I'm not going to do the talk because I can't see anything. So I went through the door of ideas. And it said, okay, go in your living room and unplug the pole lamp and bring it in here and plug it in and you're fine. And I did. So I've got my pole lamp plugged in over here and it's fine and everything is fine. So I don't have to worry about that. So when we look at our lives and we see the areas that we might have wanted to go follow that journey, whatever it is, but we were too afraid. We had an obstacle that was stopping us from opening that door that door of opportunity that waits our light, because our light is our creativity. And some people say, I'm not creative. I have this one friend who says, I'm not creative. I can't write, I can't dance, I'm not creative. But you know what? She has the most beautiful garden I have ever seen. And her yard has so many flowers and plants, and it's just gorgeous. So when I look at her garden, it just brings peace. So yeah, she is very creative. And I'm not a plant person, so she's got that way over me. But how many times, our creativity could be in our caring, our creativity could be in our mothering, in our service to others. Our creativity could be in designing our home and research and wanting to find answers. I mean, creativity is not a one done one. Well, it's not like, oh, I'm only creative if I can write. I'm only creative if I can paint. I'm only creative if I can pole dance. I'm only creative if I can, you know, do this, that, or the other thing. No, 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 no. God didn't make us all the same. God made us as individuals, and each one of us have the light of creativity. And our lights, oh my gosh, light, it's all about lights. Lights, we when we have new babies, I know Reverend Rosedale has a beautiful new baby in her home. And I know that when she looks at that baby, she sees her light. And babies are not closed off yet. They're new to the world. They're still connected to God 1000%. And they are not afraid of shining their light, whether they're laughing, even if they're crying. They have a light. It's like they only cry because they need something, and that's the only way they can tell us what they need. Change my diaper, give me food, I need some milk, and the only way they have to do that is through crying. But it doesn't mean they're sad or they're angry. They just want something and they need something, and they're letting us know. That's the only way they can let us know. But those little tykes, they have the light. And as they get older, the light doesn't die, it doesn't diminish, it gets stronger. We just need to understand and see it. We need to see it. I've got two great grandkids who are now 12 and 10, and their light is beautiful. I love them. And I can see their light in their questions. I can see their light in the way that they go about looking up things. And it's beautiful. And adults, no matter how old we get, we still have that light, and it gets stronger and stronger. When we die, that light goes with us, and it doesn't go as a little teeny flicker. It goes as a big, huge light. It lights up the sky. Our universes are all lights. The world, the earth, all of the universes are lights. Look at the night sky, and it's all lights. It's all beautiful. And all of that stardust is within us. It is who we are. It is what we were born with. And, life can get scary. Yeah. And it can. It's not, like in Melissa's reading, it's like it's not all wonderful. There's still darkness, there's still things that happen, there's still pain, there's still things that happen that are not nice, that are not peaceful, that are not of light. But no matter what, and I don't, by no means am I making light out of anybody's pain at all. I mean, it's pain is tears our heart apart. When we lose a loved one, our hearts are shattered, but they heal. And they heal with our surrender. They heal with our knowing that life does not end when the body dies. It goes on. And when my husband died, I can't say this enough. Reverend Rosedale would say to me, because I would call her and sometimes I'd be crying or whatever, and she'd say, Karen, don't think of the sadness, think of the celebrations, think of the good times you had together and celebrate those. And so I started doing that. And every time I felt really sad or missing him, I would think of the happy times and walking down on the pier holding hands and watching the dolphins as they swam by and everything. And it helped. It helped a lot because it replaced the door of sadness and negativity and pain with the door of celebration and gratitude, because I had that man in my life, and he gave me many gifts and a lot of good times and a lot of open opening my view of the world, because he was religious scientist before I was, and he taught me how to see the world in a different light, how not to be so closed off, because I'm not saying anything bad about Pentecostals, but I was closed in my thinking of religion. It was had to be this way or no way, or there was sin and there was hell and there was the devil and damnation and all that. But he got me to see that in a different light, to see a different light, to see the light of beauty, of the beauty of God. No, God is not punishing us. God is the light. And Reverend Rosedale knows this. I love stories, but before I go into a story about the light, Reverend Rosedale's book, The Quantum Connection, has a little piece in it that I wanted to say. It says, taking one step at a time helps you create healthy habits and routines that will lead you towards success over time. And that is very, very special, because we don't see a door that says success or a door that says, pole dancing, open it, walk through it, and there we are, I'm not, I would love to do pole dancing. It's a great exercise, but I have to be realistic and look at, okay, maybe I can find a pole dancing class somewhere for geriatric people and just start a little bit at a time, because I don't want them to have to call 911 because I can't get my leg off the pole, and there I am stuck. So, and some in that same paragraph, she says, sometimes it can be overwhelming to think about all the things you need to do to be successful. And isn't that true? If our teeny little human brains have to think about what we need to do to be successful, we'll just give up, because I don't even know how to be successful. I don't know what I need to do. However, it is important to remember that you don't have to do everything at once. Instead, focus on one area at a time and gradually build up your boundaries. And that is so important. I mean, I can't say enough about Rosedale's book and how wonderful the gifts that are in this cover to cover are just great. So yeah, I mean, what about that? We don't have to do it all at once. I have this year, my third book is being published. And there was a time in my life when, I have always written since I was a little girl, and I always wanted to be an author and have a book published. But how can I do that? I didn't know what steps to take. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. And then also the self-talk going on in my head said, who wants to read anything you have to write? You're not important. What do you have to say? Blah, blah, blah. So that was like over 40 years ago, over 40 years ago. And my second book that got published was that book that I was thinking about over 40 years ago. And I had written the first draft in 1981 and then put it away, and it got dog-eared and worm bitten, but it went with me. It moved with me from place to place, from state to state, from husband to husband. It went with me. I just took it. And finally, I didn't know how to do anything about publishing, but I opened the door to opportunity. I opened the door to being a published author. And when I opened that door, I didn't have the answers. I still didn't know what I had to do. But the universe took me down a road and led me to the people I needed to meet, led me to the places I needed to go to meet those people. And in that, meeting those people I needed to meet, they took care of everything for me. I did not have to figure it out myself. So, there we go. And I still can't believe it. It's like, what? Really? Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of me. Yeah, it's good to be proud of ourselves. We deserve to be proud of ourselves. If you do something, be proud. My gosh, God didn't make its children to be ashamed. God didn't make its children to be bashful. God made its children to be proud and to go out there and to do what they need to do to get where they needed to get. The history is made up of so many brave people. History is made up of a lot of disturbing things, but history also has brave people in it who stepped through the door of opportunity, who took their light and brought it through that door and made a difference in the world. There are so many people that have done that, and it's wonderful. And they weren't ashamed. They might have been a little scared because they were putting themselves, in most cases, in danger, but they did it. They did it for the higher good, and they did it to bring their light into the world and to make a difference. And that's what we need to do, even if it's one small teeny piece, one teeny thing that we do to make a difference. Like at church, they have a giving tree, so that might be some child that doesn't have Christmas might get a gift that changes their whole outlook on life. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm important. I got a Christmas present. Santa didn't forget me and fly over my house because I don't have a house. Santa loves me. And Santa is a metaphor. Santa's a metaphor for God because Santa brings gifts and Santa has a beard and all that stuff, but we don't believe God has a beard. We don't even know what God looks like. It's an energy force. It's a beautiful, creative energy force, and it's a light. It's the most brilliant light. And Reverend Rosedale knows that I tell stories all the time. So I'm going to tell a story right now about light, God light, and how a door opened for me. And it's not, it might seem like a sad story, but it isn't. Actually, it's one of the most beautiful things that happened to me in my whole life. It didn't start out that way. But when I was a young girl, I carried twins, and it was a high risk pregnancy, and I went into labor before it was time for them to be born. So when I was in the hospital, they were born, I gave birth, and one died a minute after it was born, and the other one died as it was being born. And so I was like, I don't know, 22 or something like that. But I was sad. I was so sad. I couldn't get over the sadness. And the only question I asked all the time, where are my babies? Nobody, they would ignore me. Where are my babies? And where are my babies? That's all my mind wanted to know is where were they? Were they in a jar somewhere in a lab, or were they thrown away? I wanted to know where they were. And so one night, when I fell asleep, I woke up in the middle of the night and my whole hospital room was flooded in light. It was it was it was unreal. And I opened my eyes and this light just was right over my bed. And in that big giant ball of light were two small lights. And they were differentiated from the big light because the big light was huge and bright, and the two small lights were denser and they were little. And so it was God. And God let me know without talking that God had my babies. And that's where they were. They were with God. And so I put my hands up in the air like this, and I felt heat in each hand, really hot heat. It wasn't painful, but it was very, very warm. And it was each baby put their little hand in my hand, their little light, and without words, they said, "We're with God, we love you." And that was it. And then I went back to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and I was cured mentally. I was not depressed. I was happy. They were going to have mental health people come talk to me because I was so depressed. I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't do anything. And the nurse came in and she goes, what happened? What what's going on? And I tried to tell her, and she just kind of like rolled her eyes and walked out of the room. She didn't even want to hear it. But they canceled the mental health people coming up, and she said, I'm going to call your doctor. And the doctor let me go home that day. And since that happened, I have never grieved the loss of those babies because I know They're not dead. I know their light is alive and it's in the universe, and I know that they're with God. And so that was the most beautiful thing that happened to me through their death. And I'm not saying that they came and died so that I could learn a lesson, but in that happening, that's the lesson I learned, because God answered my question, where are my babies? And God came and told me they're with me. So to me, that light was a light that we all have. We all have that light. We all have that ability to shine and to see it shine. And why wait when the doors are waiting for us? And like Nimic said, the doors are open in his life, all areas of his life, his prosperity, his mind, his business, everything. The doors are open in every area of his life, starting with his mind. And he goes through those doors, and how beautifully he goes through those doors. So, we don't need to be afraid. We don't need to be scared. But how many times do we look at the doors of opportunity and not see the plaque that's on the door? The door could be like, it could just be for health. It could be for forgiveness. The door could say forgiveness. The door could say movement. The door could say service. The door could say be nice. The door could say believe in miracles. The doors, there are many, many, many of them out there, and they're all for us. They're all for us, and they're all about us. Not that we're special or anything, but God knows what we need, and we know what we need. And later on today, Reverend Rosedale is going to have a burning bowl ceremony, and you'll hear more about that in the announcements. But when we're listening to this talk and we're thinking about the doors of opportunity, and we're thinking about shining our light, let's maybe jot down a few of the reasons why we don't go to those doors, so that when we go to the burning bowl ceremony, we can leave those negatives in the burning bowl. We can get rid of them and replace them with the positive opposite of what we're thinking. Like with my publishing, I'm not good enough. So I'm not good enough is something that I am leaving behind. I've left it behind, and I keep leaving it behind, so it doesn't show up in other areas of my life, which it would. And I'm replacing it with I am good enough. I am good enough. I have something to say. And my ministry is through writing, and my ministry is through my books helping people understand that they too have opportunities. They too have something to say. We are so special. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. It's not, it's not in our purview to be ashamed. God doesn't want its children to be ashamed. Would you want your children to be ashamed of anything? No, no way. It's like, stand up, be strong. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen that are going to be challenging. We're human. Of course they're going to be. But we have a way to get through. We have the door that says surrender. We have the door that says believe. We have the door that says faith. We have the door that says God is waiting. Whatever our door says, we fearlessly walk up to that door, grab the golden knob and open it and step through it with our light. Our light is magnificent. Our light is, so many of us hide that light. And the Bible says, do not hide your light. Put it in the window so everybody can see it. Put it out there. Our light is a way shower. Our light shows the way. And who knows how we're going to affect somebody, or who we're going to affect just with a beautiful smile and saying good morning or good day or how are you to somebody that is unhoused, or somebody that is needing our things. So anyway, I've got my beautiful Alan, stage manager, telling me that it's time to wrap it up. So thank you, Alan. I have a door of opportunity that says, Alan, best friend. So, okay, we have a song coming up. Don't we have a song coming up, Alan? Okay. And that song is Shine a Light. How appropriate. And it's by Elevation Worship. Wow. That's awesome. And all that light, have you ever thought, why humans are so attracted to light? We look at the stars in the sky and we look at the light sun reflecting off the ocean and see the beautiful sparkly lights. Why are we so attracted to light? Because they're our ancestors. We are part of the light. We have light within us. We are light, and that's why we're so attracted to light. We love light. And yeah, don't be ashamed. Let it shine. And that's what he said in that song. Thank you, Alan. Thank you to the whole team. I can't say enough how wonderful this team of leaders are for CSL Charlotte. And that's all because Reverend Rosedale attracts the light of the universe, and all of us are those lights. So our last song that's coming on, and then we will have a closing prayer by Reverend Rosedale. Our last song that's coming on is Whatever Your Plan Is. So let's enjoy that song, and then we'll have a prayer. And Rosedale, would you like to close us out in prayer, please?
Wonderful. Well, there's this power that just spoke right back to me because it has the same light that I have in me. I love the rhyming. So with all this beautiful power that surges through our community every single time we get together, the music, the open the doors music, the beautiful shining the light music, and the doors, the particular doors of opportunity, like the door of surrender, the door of ideas. Oh boy, those things are just so beautiful. And the doors of creativity. Above all, I love this beautiful Reverend Karen for her wonderful humor that just wakes me up with being on the poles. Being on the poles, what did you call that? Reverend Karen called that the pole. Oh, something funny. It was so cute. Geriatrics. And so even that sparked the light in me. It's just love is all it was. This beautiful service is what it is. It represented love to me. It represented the end of a lot of nonsense with our stuff, with these technology. This will never happen again. Believe me. So with that all being said, I am so grateful for this wonderful service and this wonderful Reverend Karen and for Mo and for Horace and for Alan and for Timmy P, who's on vacation, and for Melissa for doing all that she does in the background, and our beautiful, wonderful, awesome mistress of ceremony, Groovy G. And so I'm so grateful for all of us. And I'm grateful for the fact that we all come together and we get together and do what we have to do. And that's what makes this community. That's what makes the holidays. That's what makes the holidays more enjoyable. So let's enjoy our happiness in our holidays and just make sure that each of us thinks of each of us throughout the week. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Rosedale. My gosh, you are such a professional. I love it. I love your prayers and everything that comes out of your mouth, actually. So, in saying that, and Rosedale thanked everybody, and I doubly, triply thank everybody. And just remember, whatever the plan is, a way is made for it. So just go after what you want. Bring your light into the world and let it shine. Let it shine, everybody. And in saying that, I guess I'm closing off right now, and we can all say goodbye to each other.